They thought they locked the evil out, but it was already staring back from the mirror. In 1843, in the village of Belmore, a girl named Clémence was left on the steps of the Saint-Lune convent. She didn't cry, she just stared, unblinking at her reflection in the brass holy water bowl. By 13, Clémence had memorized scripture, but she refused to pray. "He already hears me," she whispered, always facing the cracked chapel mirror. One night, Sister Margot found her talking to her reflection, but it didn't move like her. It smiled when she didn't, and when Margot called her name, the reflection turned its head. Clémence didn't. That same week, 4 sisters fell ill. Boils, fever, bleeding gums. Each claimed they saw Clémence in their rooms, even though her door was locked. On her walls, they found one phrase, scratched over and over in Latin: Diabolus venit, natus est. The devil is coming, he is born. They summoned a priest, Father Alberic, scarred, blind in one eye. He asked for one thing: bring me to the mirror. They chained Clémence to the floor. He began to pray. She laughed. The mirror rippled, and something looked back. Astaroth, horned, smiling. Clémence's mouth opened and screamed in 1,000 voices. When it was over, Father Alberic was gone. Only a scorch mark remained. They sealed the chapel, burned her records. Last month, a baby was left at the convent, wrapped in blood-stained linen. One word stitched into the cloth, Elior, but written backwards, Royle, one of the 100 names Clémence whispered before the end. The sisters no longer pray, they wait, because the whispers are back, and this time, they're louder. They say the church was shut down, not because of what happened inside, but because of what they let out. November 3, 1982, Black Hollow, West Virginia. A man named Daniel Mercer disappeared after entering the remains of St. Icarus Church, a site long sealed by the state due to ritualistic activity. What happened inside remains unexplained. St. Icarus was built in 1899. By 1927, 6 priests had vanished. By 1934, locals reported chanting, animal remains, and inverted crosses nailed to trees. The Vatican disavowed the site in 1941. They called it spiritually contaminated. Daniel was a photographer chasing urban legends. Locals warned him to stay away, said the church wasn't abandoned, it was quarantined. He ignored them, entered at sunset. Inside, the altar was scorched black. The pews were arranged in a spiral. Symbols carved deep into the wood, not Latin, not known. Goat skulls hung from the ceiling, suspended by hair. Wax figures knelt in prayer. Daniel took one photo, just one. The flash lit the room, and that's when he saw them. Figures in red robes, eyes glowing like coals, not standing, floating, each whispering prayers in reverse. A low growl rose from beneath the altar. He turned to run, but the doors were gone, only stone. He screamed. The last sound his recorder picked up. Take him. Open the gate. His camera was found 3 days later, melted into the floor. No images survived. But every year, on November 3rd, a fresh spiral of blood appears at the church entrance. And the wax figures? They keep increasing.
This is the Vatican's darkest secret, and it's already in motion. Deep beneath the Apostolic Palace, in a chamber sealed since the 15th century, there is a book bound in human skin. Its pages contain the true deaths of every pope in history, not as the world knows them, but as fate has decreed. The book is called Liber Mortis Pontificum, the Book of Pontifical Death. Each page darkens as a pope's reign begins, slowly filling with ink that forms an image of their demise. John Paul II's page showed a bed, wreathed in light. Others are grotesque. Pope John the 21st page depicted a collapsing ceiling long before it crushed him in 1277. Pope Francis' page has been shifting for years. At first it showed an old man in a white robe, kneeling in prayer. But in 2025, something changed. The image began to move. Now it shows Francis clutching his chest. Behind him, the Vatican collapses into the earth. At the bottom of the page, a line of text has appeared. Ultimus finis venit, the final end comes. But the true horror lies on the next page. It belongs to the 267th Pope, the last one. The page isn't blank, it's already complete. The image is a screaming figure in papal robes, half submerged in black water, as a burning city sinks beneath the waves. The date beneath it is clear: October 11th, 2026. A Vatican archivist who leaked the images claims the book is writing itself faster now, as if rushing toward an inevitable conclusion.
They buried her in 3 coffins, bound in chains, but the knocking never stopped. In 1791, Sister Adélinde of Marseille began waking up with dirt under her fingernails. At first, the other nuns thought she was sleepwalking, but when they followed her one night, they found her standing in the cemetery, digging, with her bare hands. When asked why, she said, "They're calling me from below. I must answer." Her behavior grew stranger. She stopped eating, spoke to shadows, and during prayer she whispered names that hadn't been spoken in centuries. One night she collapsed mid-hymn. Her mouth opened, but it wasn't her voice that came out. It was dozens, crying, begging, screaming. The abbess ordered an exorcism, but every priest who entered her chamber came out, changed. One gouged out his own eyes. Another refused to speak ever again. They said something was inside her, not a demon, but a congregation. When Sister Adeline died, the church refused to bury her in hallowed ground. Instead, they placed her body in 3 nested coffins, bound in iron chains, and buried her beneath the abbey's stone floor. But the knocking started 2 days later, rhythmic, like nails on wood. It never stopped. Eventually, they sealed the room entirely, but the nuns still hear it. You can hear a voice beneath the floorboards whispering, "Let me out. They're still waiting."